City of Romulus City Council regular meeting for Monday, June 13th, 2016. The roll will show that all members are present with the exception of Councilwomen Abdo and Makowski.
Excused.
So noted. Tonight's council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. 3, petitioner. 4, chairperson's report. Number 5 is the mayor's report. 6A, the clerk's report. 6B, the treasurer's report. 7 is public comment. 8, unfinished business. 9, new business. 10, communication. 11 is warrant 16-11. And number 12, adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the council meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
I second that.
Been motioned by Mr. Kraut, supported by Ms. Roscoe, and this is for approval of the agenda as presented. Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Chair votes yes, agenda approved.
2A for approval are the minutes from the regular council meeting held on June 6, 2016.
So move for June 6th, 2016.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held June the 6th, 2016. Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion approved.
There were no special meetings that were held on June 6th, and there are no petitioners on tonight's agenda. Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We had 3 sessions tonight. The first one was a closed session. That was at 6 p.m. for a legal opinion. And at 6:15, we had a study session concerning the 34th District Court project. And at 7:15, we had a study session from our treasurer, Stacy Page, on the third quarter city investments. At this time, I'm going to recognize Councilwoman Choate.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask for a memorial resolution for Inez Truitt. Ms. Truitt was a longtime election worker in Precinct 9, and she passed away last week. Her funeral was on, I believe, Saturday, June 11th.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Choate, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for memorial resolution for Ms. Truitt. Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Now I would like to recognize Councilman Kraut.
Yes. I'm asking for a resolution for Monica Johnson. She's a 2-year-old baby. She's the one that drowned in the pool.
Support that.
Yeah, and her grandparents were friends with mine and my wife. They knew them from a number of years. And it's sad. I knew the mother when she was 7 years old. And the prayers go for the family, you know. It's nothing like losing a child. You never forget it. It haunts you every day.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Yes, like I agree, it's when you have someone, a baby, that young leaves the world, it's really sad. I can imagine what's going through people's hearts, and it's just something, a hurt feeling. That motion was made by Mr. Kraut and it was supported by Mr. Wadsworth. Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion approved. This time I'm going to yield the floor recognize Councilman Wadsworth.
Well, thank you, Mr. Barton. Now, we had an executive session tonight at 6 o'clock with our city attorney, and I'd like a move that we pass a resolution to sign a release and settlement agreement with the Protective Insurance Company.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Mr. Kraut, and this is to settle for Protective Insurance Company versus the City of Romulus. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. At this time, I like to get an update from our economic developer, Mr. Tim Keys, on some issues of the outlet, Jimmy John's, the grocery store, and some of the projects we got going on in Romulus. Mr. Keys.
Does this work?
Okay.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Mayor, Clerk, Treasurer. I'll start with them all, since that seems to be the topic du jour at every one of these meetings. We at the city have actually issued all the permits and necessary for this mall to move forward, as has the state of Michigan and the county. At this point, right now, what we're waiting for is them just to complete their tenant negotiation. When they get that done, then they'll break ground. I think there's some confusion going on because everybody sees that Wick Road is closed. And Wick Road from the Detroit Water and Sewer Pump Station heading through Vining Road is closed, but that is for actually a Detroit Water Sewer line, water line, 48-inch line that's going in. So it's closed for the construction of the water line, not the mall. But what we do hope is that we'll hear from the mall development group. And we say this often, we're hoping in weeks and months, but until they complete their negotiations, we really can't do anything else. The grocery store is actually moving forward. The proposed owner just had his appraisers in the building 2 weeks ago. So they're moving through that appraisal process. Hopefully, once that's complete, they'll be closing. We hope to see them in there by Pumpkin Festival. The Artisan Reserve, which is the little microbrewery downtown, they are actually in the process of doing some design work on the inside of the building, buying their equipment. I know that they've just filed or in the process of filing their license. They too hope to be open by Pumpkin Fest. Jimmy John's, which is going to be, at least is proposed to be built on the corner of Goddard and Wayne Road, the old Speedway gas station. They've actually been approved by our planning commission for their project. They have gone through the appropriate engineering reviews, and at this point now we're waiting for them to move forward with breaking ground. I don't have a date on that though. There's actually a few more projects, if you don't mind. I'll run through them all.
Okay.
The former Metropolitan Hotel will be reopening as a Radisson sometime in mid-July. That actually takes a 320-room hotel that had been dark for a number of years now and actually brings that to the tax roll. On Warman Road, in between Pennsylvania and Eureka Road, the Planning Commission has approved a industrial spec complex, 5 industrial buildings to be built, of which 2 are to be constructed this year, and they're hoping to break ground in July or August. That actually totals 835,000 square feet. In front of the Hotel Row, or the area at Merriman where Wickham all come together, there is a retail center, 12,000 square foot retail center that's being proposed, of which one appears to be a drive-through coffee shop. The other would be 2 restaurants. And so that's should be approved by the Planning Commission. In fact, might be on next week's agenda. Spirit Airline is building a 125,000 square foot maintenance repair facility over at the airport, and that is under construction and should be complete by the end of the year. Also, the Wayne County Airport Authority has started construction on a new 60,000 square foot administration building, which is being built in front of the North Terminal. And that's about a 14 to 16 month construction window. Something that I think people have seen, the old Lee Steel building, which was actually a new complex built in, I think, 2013 over on 275 Eureka Road. They actually went bankrupt and left the property. That has been bought out by a Japanese company called YFS. That's a 175,000 square foot building. They are actually investing an additional $5 million into that property. And that should be done by the end of the year with 160 new jobs. Anybody have any questions?
Any questions, anyone? Yeah, Mr.
What type of
Watson.
product are they going to manufacture with these 116 new jobs?
They will be building fuel systems for Fiat Chrysler.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Keys.
Sure.
With that, that concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report. I support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. And thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, council, treasurer, clerk, deputy clerk, and audience. Tonight, quick quote that I brought ties into what's going on Tuesday as far as Flag Day. Quote by Joe Barton, not Barton, but Barton. Close, John.
All right.
Our flag honors those who have fought to protect it and is reminded of the sacrifice our nation's founders and heroes. As the ultimate alone of the American story in history, the Stars and Stripes represent the very best of this nation. And we're going to be doing a annual Flag Day ceremony, 11 a.m. at the Senior Center. VFW will be there participating, so please come out and be a part of that. I did want to mention also, though, that the flags are at half staff, as directed by the President of the United States, and this is pertaining to the shooting in Orlando, one of the largest massed murders, terrorism acts, whatever you want to call it, hatred that's gone on, and because of that, the President authorized the lowering of the flag, so all our buildings will be at half mast. And Mr. Chairman, if it'd be appropriate, I thought it'd be nice if we just did a quick moment of silence, for the families and friends of those that were impacted down in Orlando.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome.
Just keep those families in your prayers. I can't imagine. We do have a short video clip. If we could run that quickly, Roger, then I'll get into a couple other things and then action on our report. Other things, then.
Good evening, I'm Dennis Davidson, and here's what's coming up around Romulus. The Flag Day ceremony will be on Tuesday, June the 14th at 11 a.m. in front of the Senior Center, and then they'll go across the street to the Senior High Rise for another flag raising. The Romulus Farmers Market begins on Wednesday, June the 15th from noon until 6 p.m. in the parking lot of City Hall. On Friday, the 17th, it will be the annual Romulus Rotary Golf Outing. This is the 25th year of that outing. The next Sounds of Downtown will be Friday, June the 24th, featuring the band Heinz Drive. Bring your own lawn chairs. The music will begin at 7:30. And remember, the Romulus fireworks will be on Thursday, June the 30th, behind the Romulus Middle School at dusk. Stay tuned for a complete news show right after the council meeting. Thank you and have a great week.
Thanks, Dennis. Thank you, Roger. A lot of events going on, so please try to stay up to date on those. A lot of great things happening. I wanted to make mention of one issue. We try to communicate events and activities, and you've heard about us doing a mobile app and an updated website. Well, we print a newsletter that gets sent out. And the purpose of that newsletter is we heard during the visioning that residents still want written material, okay? They don't feel we get the right coverage for newspapers, so they want to see it in print and make sure they notate what's happening in their community. So we pride ourselves in doing good work and trying to get everything into the newsletter. And we had a little bit of a hiccup on that this last printing. We do all the internal editing and approvals. I personally approved the proof that went to the printer. Don't have an answer as to what happened, but there were some errors made at the printer, and I'm not going to mention the name of the company, but very disappointing. So if you got your newsletter and you saw some inaccuracies or issues with it, we are going to be correcting that. We'll make sure we take care of it, but I take responsibility. That's not the finished revised copy that we sent, that we edited and approved, that I did. So we like to make sure everything that goes out is professional and accurate. And from what we approved and sent out, obviously there were some issues in the printing process. So apologize to the public if someone noticed some of those. We'll make sure we get it corrected, but just wanted to be forthright with that. Wanted to share some other information as far as we had our first community prayer last week. I thought it was a good start, good success, so thanks to all those who came out and participated in that. We kind of kicked off our day, and I think we made around, $500 that is going to go towards the Drug Task Force Scholarship. So I know we had their event, and we gave out, 3 scholarships this year, so maybe that's an extra scholarship that'll help next year, but please support that organization. We got to hear from students this year who were awarded those scholarships that helps. Every little bit helps with the cost of college, so thanks to everybody who participated in that. Mr. Chairman, under my regular report, I do have a couple action items before you. The first one actually has a request for 2 different motions, and what you have before you is, the first one's to concur with the administration and just adopt a resolution in support of the application that's going to be filed with the state of Michigan for a 2016 firework event.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, for the resolution for the state of Michigan for the fireworks.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Mr. Kraut, and this is to concur with the administration and adopt a resolution in support of the application with the state of Michigan for 2016 fireworks event. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. And the second request is to concur with the administration and authorize a no-fee permit for the 2016 Romulus fireworks on city property south of Ecorse Road. No fee permits for 2 food trailers and 1 glow product tent on school property, as well as 1 glow product tent at the Elmer Johnson Park, and approval for the closure of Osga Road between Tyler and Wick from 9 p.m. till midnight to expedite the flow of traffic after the event.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes. Choate.
I'd like to concur with the administration and authorize a no-fee permit for the 2016 Romulus fireworks on city property south of Ecorse Road, with no fee permits for 2 food trailers and 1 glow product tent on the school property, as well as 1 glow product tent on Elmer Johnson Park, and the approval of the closure of Osga between Tyler and Wick from 9 p.m. until 12 a.m. to expedite the flow of traffic when fireworks are completed.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Choate, supported by Ms. Roscoe, and this was to concur with administration authorizing no fee permit for the 2016 Romulus fireworks on city property south of Ecorse Road. No fee permits for 2 food trailers and 1 glow product tent on the school property, as well as 1 glow product tent in Elmer Johnson's Park, and approval of the closure of Osga between Tyler and Wick between 9 p.m. and 12 a.m. to expedite the flow of traffic when the fireworks are completed.
And Mr. Chairman, just on a discussion, we did secure private donations again this year for that event. So again, we're able to offer great program and not using tax dollars. So just a note to that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. Next item up is a request to concur with administration and award RFP 15/16-23. That's for the design, manufacture, and installation of the decorative metal gate and arch that's going to be located outside the City of Romulus Memorial Cemetery for the City of Romulus Clerk's Office, to the lowest bidder, American Fence. The amount is $23,310.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Choate.
I'd also like to adopt this resolution that we concur with the administration and award bid 1516-23 for design, manufacture, and installation of a decorative metal gate and arch to be located outside City of Romulus Memorial Cemetery, and for the City of Romulus Clerk's Office to the lowest bidder, American Fence, in the amount of $23,310.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Choate, supported by Mr. Kraut. Concur with administration award RFP 15/16-23 for the design, manufacture, and installation of the decorative metal gate and arch to be located outside the City of Romulus Memorial Cemetery for the City of Romulus Clerk's Office to the lowest bidder, American Fence, in the amount of $23,310. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item is a request to concur with the administration and award bid ITB 15/16-35 to the lowest bidder, Osborne Concrete, for the needed purchases of concrete through that bid for the 2016 and 2017 years. And as you know, that's a local business.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, for bid 15/16-35 for 216, 217 for concrete pricing. And I agree with the mayor, it's a local contractor. Very good.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Mr. Kraut. And this is for to concur with administration award bid ITB 15/16-35 to the lowest bidder, Osborne Concrete, for the as-needed purchase of concrete as the bid prices for 2016 and 2017. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item is just a request to increase the cost recovery contractual costs with offsetting revenues. There's no effect on general fund balance.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to increase the cost recovery contractual cost with offsetting revenues.
I support that.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, to increase the cost recovery contractual costs with offsetting revenues. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, council. And the last item that you have is a request to move unused funding from the 15-16 fiscal year and retain earnings to the capital outlay budget to complete the upfitting for the purchase of the fire department's vehicles that were approved last week.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to move unused funding from the 15-16 fiscal year to the capital outlay budget to complete the upfitting of the purchased fire department vehicles.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to move the unused funding from the 15-16 fiscal year to the capital outlay budget to complete the upfitting of the purchased fire department vehicles. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor.
6A is the clerk's report. Under 6A1, for second reading and final adoption is Budget Amendment 16/17-1, Cemetery Fund. This budget amendment was introduced at the council meeting of June 6, 2016, and the amount of this budget amendment is $2,160.
Chair, I'll make that motion for second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 16/17-1, Cemetery Fund.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, for second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 16/17-1, Cemetery Fund. This budget amendment was introduced at the council meeting on June 6, 2016. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
6A2, this is a request for an approval to negotiate a lease of 37230 North Line. The Property Disposition Committee met on June 7th, 2016, and is requesting City Council's concurrence on the following recommendation. The recommendation is authorization to allow Tim Keys and Kevin Kraus to enter into negotiations with West Shore Services, Inc. to lease 37230 North Line, and that is Fire Station 1. If you have questions, we do have Mr. Keys in the audience under discussion. Yes.
Yeah, explain what you're doing.
Okay,
First, I'm gonna make a motion.
we'll make a
We'll make the
motion
motion.
first.
I'll make that motion
And I'll
to
support.
authorize, to allow Tim Keys and Kevin Kraus to enter into negotiations with West Shore Services, Inc. to lease 37230 North Line, Fire Station 1.
I'll support it in a couple questions.
Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, and this is to approve and to negotiate lease of 37230 North Line. Any discussion?
Question?
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
I have a couple questions. Tim, number one, this isn't being used to run equipment anymore out of it, is it? At this point?
No, it's not.
But in the
This-
future, if something would change, we would get the building back?
Yes.
Okay, they're not gonna go there and do any, they're not gonna change the configurations of it, are they?
Not
the
to my
building
knowledge,
itself,
and
I mean-
it's part of the negotiations, we're going to have to set the parameters of what they can and can't do. And our intent is to try to leave the building intact without
Okay.
any
The
modifications.
final comment I have about this building, it's got Joseph Grove's name on the building. Under no circumstances would that be taken down?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm very sincere about that. Okay, I mean, because,
There's no reason it needs to be. So
well, I know, but I don't want something, to happen that we don't want to happen.
I'll
Okay?
make sure it doesn't happen.
I respected that name in his town for a long, long time, and he's, definitely to have his name on the building. Okay, fine.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. Any other discussion?
I just have one last
Yes,
question.
Ms.
So we're
Roscoe?
not housing any equipment in there right now?
There's no fire equipment. It is actually being used for miscellaneous storage, that paper product and all that other stuff will be moved out into other locations. West Shore has been looking through the Romulus market for a facility. We have a facility that appears to fit well for them, and to take a vacant, half-used building and get some money out of it seems to make sense to us.
Okay, could the maker of the motion please include that the name of Joseph Grover remains on the building?
I-
In black and white, I don't.
I'll
Okay.
add that to my motion,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I know, but,
Also-
well, we know,
also-
but you know what I'm saying.
The last comment or explanation to all this is, would you like to explain what they will do there? I mean, I'm reading it here, but basically they are in the fire
West
business.
Shore is a company that sells and maintains fire apparatus. Their intent is to use this building as a satellite to maintain and repair fire equipment in the downriver area. Right now, they're having to take this equipment to wherever their home office is, I'm not sure. But they want to get closer to part of their market, which is downriver. And this makes sense because of 94 and 275 and proximity to getting traffic to and from that quickly.
Okay, thank you.
Tim, when you say fire equipment, that's for,
We're talking fire trucks, pumpers,
okay.
that type of equipment.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Keys. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes,
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
That concludes the line items on the agenda under the clerk's report. But before I close, I just want to remind those that are watching, just The state primary election is fast approaching. It's scheduled for August 2nd, 2016, and the last day to register for the primary election is Tuesday, July 5th. The mayor has already, mentioned the newsletter that's out, and so we were fortunate to get a lot of information about the election. So all of our contact information, website resources, all that information is included in the newsletter there. So we've already received a call, Mayor Burcroft, that the resident had said they appreciated having that information available. So we are getting a response just to the information that we've provided, at least, in the clerk's office and all around. So it's a good tool. It's good that we have the newsletter with all the information for our community. I'm just echoing, Mayor, just, the importance of that as a resource of information in the city. So again, elections, we want everyone to please prepare to vote in August, and we were very fortunate last week was that we were able to go to the high school. We partnered with the Inkster clerk, and we went to the high school, and we were able to register about a third of our graduating seniors. We were hoping to get all of them, but they were a little preoccupied. But it was very positive, and so the principal there, they want us to come back and to do that and make it a regular event for us to be there for the seniors to make sure that they are registered before they move on to the next phase in their life.
Great.
Thank you. That will conclude the clerk's report. 6B is a treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, mayor, clerk, deputy clerk, and audience. Tonight at 7:15, I had a study session for third quarter city investments, and I'm just going to do a quick review. According to our investment policy in Public Act 20, there were 3 areas that I covered, and those are based on maturity, duration, and the total return. And I'm happy to announce that we are slightly above benchmark, and the benchmark that we use is Merrill Lynch. Just an example of some of the security types that we use is U.S. Treasuries, federal agencies, commercial paper, repurchase agreements. These are all within our policy, and we are doing the job and doing well. So thank you very much. And if you ever have any questions, you are more than welcome to call the treasurer's office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 7 is public comment, and this is a portion of our meeting that's set aside for those in the audience that may have something to say. If you would like to have comments, please raise your hand, and after you've been acknowledged by the chairperson, that you approach the podium and state your name. We ask that you please limit your comments to 3 minutes. If your comments warrant a response from the administration or our city council, please note that your comments will be addressed under unfinished business on the agenda. We do not have any written requests.
Thank you. Any comments from the audience? There's no comments from the audience. Madam Clerk, we'll close the part out.
Thank you. Number 8 is unfinished business.
Mr. Barton.
Yes, Mr.
If I
Wadsworth.
can, I have 2 things to bring up, and number 1, Mayor, it's about the newsletter itself. I came out of church on Saturday, and I got 2 compliments about it, so maybe I didn't read it as good as I should have, but I didn't see anything difficult. People, in fact, one fellow that lives in Oak Brook since 1968 said it was about time that we kept citizens, so I thought it was good. On a different topic, Mayor, I'd like to discuss, and me and the police chief had some conversation about this, about updating the security at the animal shelter. And I bring it up to you because we really, there is a security, and I want to tell the public that we don't have any, but me and the chief both discussed how inexpensive it would be to update it where we could have cameras on the outside, cameras on the inside, in case any vandalism and to protect not only our investment, but to protect the cats and dogs in there. And I checked in this past week, there's funds available in all the donations that people have given. In fact, that fund has ballooned to over $50,000 right now, which I'm quite proud of. But, I think it's important because we don't want, it's like myself, I never waited to get an alarm in my house until something got taken from my house. And, you know, once the horse is out of the barn and something happens, and that's not something that we want to see. And that's my comment.
Absolutely, we'll definitely pursue it. You know, if we're protecting the asset of the building, obviously our employees and the animals. So we'll definitely look at that. That's great that actually we have a fund that we have had a lot of people contributing to
And it wouldn't be a
allow us to do
taxpayer's
those things. So
expense.
exactly, it would come from those donations, and we'll make sure we pursue that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Is there any more unfinished business? If not, number 9 is new business.
New business?
Number 10, communication.
No communication?
All right, number 11 for approval is warrant 16-11.
Mr. Chairman,
This Ms. Choate?
I'd like to adopt a resolution that we pay warrant 16-11 in the following funds. General Fund, $214,465.12. Major Street Fund, $10,540.79. Local Street Fund, $7,410.69. Cable TV, $808.70. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $6,893.06. Street Lighting Fund, $45,875.85. Community Employee Activity, $3,845. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $320. CDBG is $18.40. 911 Service Fund, $10,611.76. Law Enforcement, $1,341.85. Narcotics Forfeiture Fund, $29.65. Library Fund, $13,411.94. DDA is $2,203.33. Tifa District 2, $398.34. Water and Sewer Fund, $450,085.18. Motor Vehicle Fund, $16,481.11. Technology Services, $23,272.02. Retirees Insurance Benefits, $32,504.96. Revolving Fund is $39,592.54. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $56,402.95. Payroll Fund, $20,482.33, for a grand total of $956,995.57.
Word.
Been motioned by Ms. Choate, supported by Mr. Kraut, to pay warrant number 16-11 for $956,995.57. Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Warrant number 16-11 will be paid.
Number 12 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned, and thank you.